black woman in America has come a long way since her time there. She has gone out and procured an education, entered a plethora of professions in business, law, service, and the medical field. She also bore offspring and nurtured them during their formative years while simultaneously tending to the inner workings of the home. But let's pause for a moment. After accomplishing all these commendable feats, she lost something of herself along the way. When we look at the woman who is currently named African American, we are now subjected to a barrage of images that are far removed from laudable. These women have unfortunately morphed into an aggressive speaking, derriere shaking, bearer of loads of kids, spender of thousands of dollars or pounds on fake or dead hair, no wherewithal of adorning yourself in the appropriate apparel in public, insecure, attention-seeking, debasing yourself for cash, objectified, willing to be inferior to Caucasian women, legs open, tattooed up, receiving in every orifice available heathens. Angered by my words? That sound you're hearing is the deeply buried pride attempting to resurface. Hopefully, it will be for more than a brief spell. There'll be that knee-jerk reaction from some of you that goes by the tune of Talk to the Brothers and its various remixes. At this juncture, I am speaking to you. I'll address your male counterpart in a future video. If we take a look at the Oriental woman, for example, they may not have the best figures, but at least they know how to be ladylike and play their role. They don't have to use their arse or their sexuality as an opening gambit. The majority of interactions with you has left me with a negative feeling, and the sad thing is, I see a lot of potential in you.
Because I could see us holding hands, walking on the beach, our toes in the sand. I could see us on the countryside, sitting on the grass, laying side by side. You could be my baby, let me make you my lady.
But girl, you're a savage. You keep acting crazy. All I want from you is have some class. Venturing onto talk shows and making black men the scapegoat for your problems in this scripted drivel will avail you naught. All it will achieve is dramatize and reinforce the stereotypes of you being loud-mouthed, obnoxious, welfare-collecting promiscuous females. While I'm at it, I should also mention the raise of children that belong to white, middle and upper-class families. It's like watching an episode of Roots or Mad Men all over again. Time for you to pack it in. Your own children aren't getting the attention they deserve in many cases. Some men have put you on an undeserved pedestal by saying that you are a queen or a goddess. These sycophantic men contributed towards giving you an inflated ego towards your own black men. Dating someone of another race is an option in this day and age, but could you at least do that without the guilt trip you're trying to put on black men? This charade wore thin a very long time ago. Doing away with these silly entitlement issues you have and conducting yourself in a fashion reminiscent of black women of yesteryear is in order. Frankly put, acting with dignity and class. I suggest a great deal of you need to urge your daughters, nieces, and perhaps associates to turn off the TV, read more books, and monitor all forms of recent music they might be listening to. Having intergenerational meetings or interventions on a regular basis will help the young ones grow into adults with more noticeable principles and morals. Leaving it to the discretion of the educational institutes and other outside sources would only steer you and those kids down the wrong path. Chefs might refer to this as a recipe for disaster. Only a black woman can teach a black girl to be a future black woman. You'd be at a remiss in believing that white women are up to the task. Speaking of which, Hollywood has looked on white women more favourably than black women. They received movies such as Educating Rita, Pretty Woman, and The Brave One. You, on the other hand, were given demonizing movies such as The Color Purple, Monsters Ball, Crash, Precious, and the TV show named Scandal. Hardly a good ambassador for black women around the globe, wouldn't you say? Granted, this diabolical representation has been perpetuated exponentially over the last decade by Hollywood and other forms of media. However, the question is, why are these talented black actresses accepting these roles? Could it be these actresses are purposely being overlooked for more positive roles? Are they starved for work? Could it be many have lost their integrity? There is a thing called taking a collective stand. Anyone with an iota of intelligence would know that these characters leave behind a legacy of negativity for years to come. Understand that you could be the most beautiful woman on the planet again, but first, you need to recognize your true beauty and embrace it. In your current state, you are not living up to your potential. Adopting the mantra of independent woman has misled many black women. Let's examine the word independent. By doing your due diligence, you'll be aware that it means free from outside control, not depending on another for livelihood or subsistence, and not being connected with another. Unwittingly and indirectly, you've wished to be alone. You may have achieved a nice job, the house, have a nice car, perhaps a few kids. But despite all of that success, you are now still alone. Are black men at tipping point? As far as the demeanor and mentality of certain black females is concerned, yes. Some have opted to court women of differing ethnic groups. Others are a whisker away from changing their pitch up and smacking their bitch up. Knowing when to be quiet and refraining from having the last word is paramount. Need I also add, being less confrontational and less willing to pick fights, which could lead to someone getting killed, is something that is very unbecoming of a supposed queen or goddess. Assuming your role as the nurturer, consoler, and first teacher of our children will put you and us in a better position in the long run. We need less of this and more of this. Furthermore, it would be appreciated by myself and many other black men if you were to revert back to your natural look. Skin bleaching, cosmetic surgery, and weave is about as convincing as a man wearing a comb-over. Now, look at this Caucasian female. She has dreads, and the second one has braids. To me, as a black person, this looks absolutely ludicrous. Now imagine what the average white person thinks when they see you walking around with blonde hair, coloured contact lenses, and bleached skin. They're probably laughing internally and thinking to themselves, well, this looks absolutely crass. You are relinquishing the natural protection the Creator gave you against the sun, and also increasing your risk of skin cancer. The very defense that you are giving up is the very thing that a lot of white people wish they had. I hate to harp on about this weave thing, but unless you're going trick-or-treating or going to a fancy dress party, you really ought to not wear this because, quite frankly, it's just not you. Understand that you, the black woman, was once considered the most beautiful woman on the planet. You can be again. Other women of differing racial groups are aware of this and lampoon your ignorance of this fact. While you are busy trying to look like the Caucasian woman, they are getting no end of entertainment watching you spend considerable amounts of money on getting features that are clearly not yours. Why would someone in their right mind date a black woman with synthetic European features when they could date the genuine article? I'm no Bible thumper, but it does mention a line that goes to the effect of, "The first shall be last, and the last shall be first." Guess who that refers to? These shenanigans have to stop. A return to grassroots ethics is a prerequisite for a vigilant group effort to keep you, the black woman, within the sphere of decorum. My Portuguese is a bit rusty, but as they say,
Teens ha ido de forma extraña últimamente esta una hora de vuelta para casa.